I just think an opportunity to come in and play a great opponent, great home field advantage, a great atmosphere in college football, coming off of 2 good games. We had a lot of momentum going, so I thought really in that sense, just how we were able to win a gritty game last week would have been a lot for us to come in here and get a win in this environment.
Oh, the Cougars had a big opportunity to make a national statement on Saturday in Eugene, but they failed to capitalize.
Yeah, and it was right from the get-go. Going down early, going down big, unable to mount a comeback against the 25th-ranked Oregon Ducks. Oregon scoring on their first 6 offensive possessions of the game. 5 of those drives ending in touchdowns. BYU looked very different from that physical and fast defense we saw last week against Baylor. They looked lost. The Oregon running backs, Marquise Irving, Noah Whittington, and Jordan James, all averaged more than 5 yards per carry. The Cougars defense struggling all game to take them to the ground.
We were missing tackles, and I honestly don't think that's our type of play. We had a lot of players that were missing tackles, and it was from top to bottom. It wasn't one person or one position that did it.
Obviously, gotta crush the run game. They came out hot, running down our throats. And missing tackles is just something that it's fundamentals. So you can never get too good at it, and we're always working on getting off blocks, making tackles.
That's uncharacteristic of our defense and our players. I thought we could handle the skill and the athleticism, but obviously we need to go back and figure some things out.
Well, BYU's inability to run the ball for a second straight week forced the Cougar offense to become one-dimensional against the Ducks. The Cougars averaging just 2.5 yards per carry, just 1 carry by a running back. Went for more than 5 yards in this entire game. The offensive line unable to move defenders off the ball, unable to create running lanes. Christopher Brooks with 4 runs for negative yards in the game. A problem that has Sitake confused.
Well, that's a concern for me. It's just like, you mentioned that I don't know what the issue is. We'll have to keep watching from the film. We thought that we could find some spots against Oregon, and obviously they did a good job shutting down the run. We have to get better from it. There's no running from it.
You hate to give up opportunities on 4th downs to turnover. We preach taking care of the ball security. Turnovers, is just as devastating as throwing an interception or fumbling the ball to us. We rely a lot on being able to convert 4th downs, giving our defense a break. We just didn't do that today.
All right, Sly's back to take a look at the Cougars. Look, a lot of correction needs to happen. And I think you got to start with missed tackles, right?
Yeah, no question. It's very hard to stay on top of your game each and every week. And you can see it. A very emotional win against Baylor last week, a little hangover coming into Oregon. And BYU is going to be a great team. It's very hard to go undefeated. I'm good enough to say that. I'm one of those guys. Brag. Right? But week to week, it's going to be tough, especially when you're playing teams like Baylor, Oregon, Notre Dame coming up in a few weeks for BYU. But here's what a lot of people are talking about. And this is a missed tackle. The thing is, Marquise Irving is a tremendous athlete, but it starts up front, right? Everybody needs to do their job. What we talked about in the Utah segment is stopping the running backs north and south penetration, right? Here, Logan Latui does not do that. He goes to the outside blocker. The blocker who's supposed to block him was like, okay, you're going outside, I'll let you go. And by him doing that, he created north and south running lanes for Irving to run through. And these guys, you can't really blame them because football is all about angles, right? And this guy has tremendous athletic ability, and his athletic ability was on display in the open field. It's very hard to tackle. It's like saying Derrick Henry getting a free shot on your safety. What are you going to do? And so it's very hard to blame those, but that wasn't the only play BYU had issues with. They had other things, but it's just more about effort and week to week, as we said, and keeping up with the Joneses, as they say. So BYU has some things to work on defense.
Yeah, they couldn't stop the run yesterday. They also couldn't get the run going on offense. They've got that amazing offensive line, but it's 2 weeks in a row now where the BYU offense just has not been able to get that run game going.
Yeah, no question. But I think after watching the film, I think Oregon had a great defensive game plan coming in here. The things that they implemented to take advantage of in this game was premier. First, this was a 4th and 1, and they needed to get a yard. So what BYU does is area blocking. But this nose guard's job was to attack this guard, but the BYU washed everybody down. This other D tackle stayed square and got into the gaps, and these 3 blockers essentially took the one, leaving him open, but the whole deal was causing penetration. penetration, right? As we talked about, stopping north and south progression from the running backs, they did a great job with this. And then on this play, it's all about the individual effort. These two guys here at the bottom of the screen do a tremendous job of getting penetration, stopping the north and south track of the running back, and allowing him nowhere to go. And that's just what it. But BYU, I wouldn't say they're predictable. I just think Oregon had a really good defensive game plan coming into this football game and just caught BYU by surprise.
It's hard for fans to do this, but sometimes you have to tip your cap to your competitor.
You do.
And worry about next week.